I'm sick of it. I'm sick of seeing these comments in the comments section telling me I need to get a life. I need to go touch grass. Why do you spend all this time hunting for different colored pixels on a screen, only to delete them when they die in your Nuzlocke? Well, today I'm going to do what you guys want, and I'm finally going to go and touch grass. But not outside, that's boring. I'm going to attempt to touch grass as quick as possible in every single mainline Pokemon game, as quick as I possibly can, and find out what game is the easiest to touch grass in, and what game is the longest, and maybe what's broken in my head to even think of doing this. We'll be doing this in chronological order, going from Pokemon Red all the way up to Pokemon Scarlet, and at the end I'll give a list showing the order for how long it takes in each game to touch grass. This video was inspired by fellow YouTuber Jort's video on the Mario franchise, which if you haven't seen, you should totally check out, and it'll be down in the description as well. But let's dive into the first Pokemon game, Pokemon Red. So obviously the first thing we have to do in all these games is make it through the professor's introduction, and name our character. So the first part just involves spamming through this as quick as possible in every single game. So a big part of these runs is going to be efficiently naming things and picking the correct prompts. Alright, let's go. Quick. Oh, that's a time loss there. Hey, we did it! We touched grass! Game 2 being Pokemon Yellow has no major differences besides taking slightly longer to introduce Pikachu in the menu, but at the end of the day, it's the exact same route, clocking in slightly longer at 47.3 seconds. The next game sends us into Generation 2 and the Johto region for the first time. The Professor's introduction is a little longer in this game, and as they progress, they'll only get longer. Just getting to move around takes us 40 seconds, and we head downstairs and then our mother wants to chat. She gives us the Pokegear, adding on another 30 seconds of straight dialogue before we can head over to Elm's lab, pick up the first Pokemon we can to save time, and definitely not nickname it. And from here we can head outside, head onto the route, and that's time. Grass! Next up is Pokemon Crystal, and remember, I ain't touching any ordinary grass in these runs. We are after tall grass, so the non-encounter grass doesn't count. This game is pretty similar to Gold in the introduction that takes about the same time, but Professor Elm has a few more lines of dialogue and also walks over to the table. Walk faster, dude! I need my grass! I also accidentally took an extra step here, so I ended up with Totodile, but after this we can head out of the lab and onto the route and touch that sweet grass. Now we are making the jump into full color on the Game Boy Advance. Pokemon Ruby's Professor intro goes for a similar amount of time, being 46 seconds, but now we're done with that, we can step out of this totally safe moving truck and into this new region where all I want to do is touch grass. But first things first, I have to talk to Mum, set my clock in my room, talk to Mum again, watch some TV with her where apparently my absent dad was on, but I didn't see him, probably because he doesn't exist, and then we have to talk to the neighbor's kid before finally we can step out onto the route. And damn, there's some dude out here getting funky with this dog. I tried to ignore him and touch the grass, but he wouldn't let me. So close yet so far. So now we're forced to pick our Pokemon. I just grabbed the first one to save time and take down the dog. This is the first time we've actually had to battle anything, and fortunately 2 scratches takes it out. And then the damn professor drags me all the way down to his lab, exposition dumps, and then finally we can run back up to the route again and touch grass. Emerald is pretty much the same, except instead of Poochyena attacking Professor Birch, a Zigzagoon is, and unfortunately for me that means it takes 3 scratches to take down instead of 2, meaning overall we finally make it back to the grass and we clock in a little longer at 4 minutes and 7 seconds. Back to Kanto already. I wonder what will be quicker, this game or the original, or maybe it will be the Let's Go games. Well, let's go find out. Well, getting through the intro takes a lot longer unfortunately, thanks to the extra control info at the start, but now we can head downstairs and touch grass.
Wait a minute!
No! Oh, don't take me to the lab! Just let me touch the grass first! Damn it. Well, this time we now have to go through all the dialogue in the lab and get our starter. But not only that, we have to fight our rival Gary, which does drag on quite a bit as we don't deal a lot of damage, so we end up 5-shotting it. You would be able to improve this time if you got lucky and had a Pokemon with a good nature going up against a Pokemon with a bad nature, but once we finally beat him, we can head up onto the route. We don't care about your trainer tips, girl! Clocking in at 3 minutes and 32 seconds, it was faster than the last game, but a whole 3 minutes longer than the original. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl is next, and these were my very first Pokemon games, but I don't have time for stories, I gotta go touch grass. In the Professor's intro, it no longer gives us an option to pick a pre-selected name, so now to quick pick, we have to instead go into the dialogue box and just click OK straight away. This will give us the auto-generated name, and we can quickly progress. This will work for all of the DS games. We are then plopped into an intro cutscene talking about a red Gyarados, and now along all of these runs, it's been super important to make sure we are holding B to make the text scroll a little faster and click A as soon as possible. Nevertheless, heading downstairs now, Mum tells me not to go and touch grass, but she doesn't know I was literally born for that very purpose. So I get thudded by Barry, talk to him inside his house, and head up towards the lake. It's here we meet the Professor, and before you know it, Pokemon Platinum is similar enough at the start, wow, except Barry does come to talk to us at the very start, increasing our time. Heading downstairs, we ignore the woman saying stupid things, and once we head up towards the lake, we actually don't, and instead attempt to run straight into the grass. That's a great idea, Barry, the quicker the better. But no, that silly Professor gives us a Pokemon, and now before we can touch the grass, we have to battle Barry. Ideally, we want his Chimchar to take us out as quick as possible so we can skip the super low EXP gain from winning the battle, but that doesn't happen, and we instead win extending the time, using 5 tackles. I mean, look how long it takes to gain this EXP. Any day now. Alright, thank God it's done. After winning, we get taken back to our house, and then from there we scroll through a little bit more dialogue, and we can head up to the grass, and oh my god, we have to go to the lake first, oh my lord. But after meeting Cyrus, finally, boom, 8:39, double the time of Pearl, far out. But now we are headed back to Johto, but this time in color. We of course name ourselves as usual, take our gear, and upon leaving the house we are hit with more dialogue from this character which we didn't have to speak to in the original. Heading over to the lab, however, we can pick up our starter, and... What? Shiny Chikorita? What? Are you kidding me? What? A full-on shiny grass blade? Are you kidding me? I'm like fucking blown away. What? I cannot even believe this happened. That is a joke. This whole video is about finding grass, and we find a shiny grass type? Oh my god. Shiny blade of grass? But we have to remain focused. This is a speedrun after all, so we have to get to that grass as quick as possible. Upon showing my mother my shiny, we can step out onto the route, and 4 minutes 31. I still can't believe I found a shiny here. Ah yes, the game where they took the story to another level. Some would say too far, but I would say just right. And with any story comes dialogue, and there is a lot of it. For the first time after the Professor's cutscene, there is now a little extra intro cutscene, which is quite cute, but it does add on time. Well, we get our Pokemon straight away in this game, but so do our 2 rivals. That's right, 2 rivals. So we have to fight both of them before we can progress. Obviously, if we lose quick, it's faster again, but since these guys suck, we take them both down quite slowly, I might add, and then talk to our rival Bianca at her house. She's telling her dad about her plan to go touch grass with me, and I guess he's not happy about that, but anyway, we leave to go talk to the Professor and then head up to Route 1. And finally, we can... Psych! Nah, we have to watch the catching tutorial. The first time we've actually had to do this, but once that's over, we run up and... Wow, nearly 10 minutes, jeez. Black 2's intro is completely different, as this is a sequel, set in another town a few years after the original game. But just like the other games, we go through the mass amount of dialogue until we can head up to this outlook to see, oh, look, it's Bianca! I guess she went on that journey and found that grass after all. Anyway, she gives us our Pokemon and we remember not to nickname them, and now it's time to battle our rival. This time we only have to fight one of them, but then Bianca decides to lead me around my own city, showing me things I already know, like what a Pokemon Center is. But after doing that, we can head up to the route, and damn it, again we have to watch the catching tutorial. Okay, so we watch that, and we finally... Once you touch grass, you'll never want ass. That's a saying, right? Ah, here we are in one of my favorite Pokemon games, Pokemon Y. And here's the first time where we actually are forced to name ourselves, as they don't give you the option to skip naming. So I just picked a random letter, being P, and whoa, is that a 3DS? Wow! We chuck on some clothes, go downstairs, and go to meet the neighbors. This random girl says I have a little P, and although she's right, it did hurt my feelings, so I grabbed a Pokemon and beat this girl in a fight. We then ran home to say goodbye to Mum, you'll never see me again, and also this Rhyhorn stops me. But I always forget what this thing evolves into. Right on these nuts! Anyway, we head back through Route 1 where there is no grass and onto Route 2, and before the catch tutorial we can actually touch grass. Well, that was a bit quicker. I wonder if the revisit to home will take any longer. Well, they added an extra cutscene, so that's great. So, just like last time, we get out of this truck, say hi mum, bye mum, and go hit on the next door neighbor. He's pretty cool, but his dad's, yeah, still doing this with Poochyena. Anyway, just like last time, we have to beat Poochyena, and after we do, we head back to the lab and back up to the route. Not too bad, 6 minutes 11. And here it is, the only Pokemon game which made me want to go touch actual grass instead of doing this. Pokmon Moon. This intro section is unbelievable. Not only do we have the Professor's cutscene, but now we have a full-on cutscene with some girl being chased that goes for another 2.5 minutes. Until we finally get control of our character. Well, the madness doesn't stop there. After watching that, this shirtless dude breaks into my house, monologues for 1.5 minutes, and then leaves. And then from there we can head on to Route 1, and you may be thinking, great, surely there's some grass right here. And you'd be right, but we can't touch it. But instead we have to go up into this town, follow this girl into the forest. I don't know what's even happening, but we're on a bridge now, protecting a cloud, but it's taken a whole 11 minutes to get here. We get saved by some guardian and another cutscene and head back to town. It's here we finally get our Pokemon, and after more dialogue spamming, after 14 minutes, we surely can go and touch grass now. I'm having withdrawals, it's never taken this long before. I need to touch the grass, goddammit! Oh my god, this dude's in my way. Well, first we have to fight our rival Hal. I don't know how or why, but we do. And then... nope, we have to go back to our house first. Get more dialogue, Kukui then takes us through the catch tutorial, and success! I swear, if I have to do this again in Ultra Sun, so help me. The Ultra Recon squad is here in this cutscene now, but besides that, when we step onto Route 1, Arceus blesses us by giving us our starter early, and once we pick it... damn, that was quick. Well, not in comparison to the very first game in the franchise, but compared to Sun, I'm so thankful we didn't need to go fight our rival again. And that's it for the 3DS games. Onto the Switch we go, where we make our return to Kanto, and we head through the Professor's intro and into the world. And unlike Yellow, the game it's based on, we don't get to touch grass straight away. It's right there! God damn it! At least I got to use this gimmick Pokeball remote that I only used once, so I'll call us even.
Oh shit, a Pikachu! Let me use my Pokeball.
Ow. We catch Pikachu and it runs off into the lab where we go pick it up, spam through some more dialogue, and after 7 minutes, 7 times as long as the original game, we touch grass. Alright, up next is Pokmon Sword, and the first place we can touch grass is in the Slumbering Weald. The intro cutscene lasts for 3 minutes, and hey, what are you watching? Oh, just the latest RJ video. It's kinda cringe though, he's just been going on about grass for about 30 minutes. So we grab our bag, head outside, and go to my friend's house, where we are told to go down to meet this guy's brother, who's the champion in this region. We do pass by some grass on the way, but I'm not allowed to touch it, so we say hi to Leon and spam through the text as fast as possible. It's now we get to pick our starter, and after watching a cutscene that drags on for another minute, I pick the closest one, and then we have to go and battle Hop. He has 2 Pokemon in his team, first off being Wooloo, which we take down with 3 pounds, before leveling up and learning Water Gun. This lets us 2-shot Score Bunny, and now this random Wooloo from the start busts through this gate, so we follow it into the Slumbering Weald, and... can you believe it? There are 5 unique mainline Pokemon games on the Switch, which kinda blows my mind. But anyway, up next is the remake of Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, being Brilliant Diamond for this run. We watch the Professor's intro and head downstairs, where yet again Mum tells me to not touch grass, but we ignore her and we go say hi to Barry. From here he thuds me and we head up to the lake yet again, where we touch grass at 3 minutes 16. which is a whole minute faster than the original. This was because in the original, in the professor's cutscene, they actually make you touch the Pokeball on the touchscreen, adding some time on, and overall the text scrolls a little bit slower. Well, there's only 2 games left, and to be honest, some of my favourite in the franchise. First off being Legends Arceus, where they removed wild random encounters in the grass. So you may be wondering, what grass are you going to try touch then? Well, good viewer of mine, we are aiming to touch the tall grass where we can crouch and hide in. Well, first we pick our character and awaken in some void. God appears before me and tells me my goal, and that is to embrace the grass. So we awaken on the beach, and hopefully there's some grass where we catch the starter Pokemon, but unfortunately there's not. So we catch them and head into town with Professor Laventon. Old mate here gives us the cold shoulder before this lady tells him to feed me. A bunch of dialogue spamming later, we get treated to the funniest face in Pokemon history, and we can finally head to bed. In the morning we head out and into the galaxy headquarters. Weren't these guys the bad guys not that long ago? Anyway, we get a pouch and our partner Pokemon and are told to go to the Obsidian Filled Lands to complete our trial. But the real trial was spamming long enough to get there. And in the end, we picked up Rowlet and now we have to fight Volo. Yeah, this guy ain't giving me good vibes. But anyway, after defeating his Togepi, we can head into the Field Lands now, spam through some more dialogue, ignore this Bidoof. I don't care about the Bidoof, man, I care about the grass. I gotta touch grass, man. Just for this moment. I did it. I touched the tall grass. 19 minutes and 13 seconds. God, that was almost as bad as Sun. But here we are, the final game. And once I touch grass here, I've touched grass in every single Pokemon game. This is the latest one being Pokemon Violet. And continuing the trend of long intro cutscenes, we pick our gender, name ourselves number 1 because we are number 1. Hey! And so begins the cutscene, lasting 3 minutes. We gain control of our player at 4 minutes. Get up, you lazy bastard. And we head down the stairs to say hi to Mum. Some old guy hits on her and then distracts me with some Pokemon as we head down to the neighbor's house to pick one to take with us. We are forced to walk the whole way there and it's really slow. And there's plenty of dialogue once we finally get there. So once we get through that, I get to pick my starter, and this time I go for Sprigatito. And my god, more dialogue, great. Just take the Pokemon, Nimona. Well, heading down onto the beach now, we have our battle with the champion. That's right, we are battling the champion, Nimona. Well, she's only using one of her Pokemon that she just got, but doesn't matter, we beat the champion. She did want to battle us again, but I'm in a rush, girl. So we head towards the first route being Poco Path. Shut up, Mum! Go talk to the old guy, I don't care, I've got grass to touch, it's right there! We participate in the catching tutorial for the first time, catching Lechonk, and now finally we can run a little bit further up, and there it is. So here are all the games in order of how long it takes to touch grass. Do what you want with this list, I don't know where it could possibly be useful, but here it is. Yeah. Wow. Maybe I should go touch grass. I can't believe I made a whole video about this.